Listen. Flash Beast once again. I decided I'm gonna make a video second day, because oftentimes what happens during the games is we can be kind of reactionary. You just saw the game happen, and then you're reacting exactly to what you saw. You didn't really get a chance to see all the angles and get to watch any film because honestly, the only way you can really break down a game or what happened in the game thoroughly is if you watching film, like for real, like. And those who know that, they know that, like those who play football at some level, even if you just play little league, like I definitely did, in some high school football, like I did that too. Unless you like understand, like played at some type of level, certain things you just not really going to understand, like how to tell if a guy's performing or not. And with that said, right, I'm not going to lie. I felt like Carson was trash in the game against Dallas. And for the most part, I'm going to still say it was a trash performance altogether. But with that, I'm going to say Carson did not play as bad as you think. He didn't play as bad as you think. And really, it would actually be best for me to bring some film right now and show you exactly what I mean. But I'm just going to just break it down. I don't feel like taking the time to put together a little kind master film and cutting and all of that and pasting. I might do that later in the future, but today I'm going to just give my thoughts. This is the thing with Carson Wentz, right? This is from a person, who grew up a little athletic. Of course, I was not a unique, like, freak athlete, like you go to the NBA or anything like that. But, like, in my neighborhood or in my school, I was always one of the fastest as far as running, one of the strongest, all of that. So I was always a pretty good athlete, like, all the time. You know what I mean? I was that dude that you running from the cops, they ain't gonna try to race after me. You're not gonna catch me. It's not gonna happen, right? But besides that, right? Carson Wentz is the typical athlete, right? Who has not come to the realization of his limits. Let me say that again, right? Carson Wentz is the typical athlete who has not come to the realization of his limits. And this is for a number of reasons, right? The first reason is, and you can tell by the way he plays, the first reason is he's always been able to get away with playing football the way he plays it right now. Running around, buying time, juking the linemen and juking the linebackers and making these amazing plays that only he and a few other people can kind of do, right? He always was able to get away with playing that way. Like the way you see Patrick Mahomes just destroying NFL teams, the way you see Aaron Rodgers just carving everybody. Carson believes in his heart he's one of those guys. He believes that he's one of those guys, like a Mahomes, like an Aaron Rodgers and all of that, right? So he believes that because this is the way he's always played quarterback, right? Little league, if he played that. Definitely in high school and college, right? Once he got the chance to play. So this is what he believes about himself. That's the first problem. He was able to get away with it early on in the NFL as well, 2017. He felt like he was playing a video game. I'm Patrick Mahomes running around, making all these amazing plays, starting with the Aguilar play, week 1, 2017. That right there let him think he in another category, right? He can do this. Top ball. Right, this is what you got to understand. Carson believes about himself because he was able to do that then, and he always played quarterback this way. Now the problem with this is that he doesn't know, he hasn't mastered the other way of playing football, which is just from the pocket, making reads, hitting guys in stride, accuracy, all of those types of things that are necessary to really succeed on a professional level if you want to make money doing this shit. You understand there's a difference. right? You got to know how to play football a particular way and excel in particular at certain things in order to really be one of those guys that a franchise is going to put $100 million behind in hopes that they're going to win them championships, right? So there's a difference. So this is what I'm saying, right? Carson believes he can do the Mahomes thing and Aaron Rodgers thing, right? But he doesn't realize that he does have limitations. Okay? That number one, you have to be efficient from the pocket to be able to do all that other shit. Okay? You're not gonna be able to do all that other stuff without some type of proficiency in the pocket. Because your pocket game has to be respected in order for them to call defense in a certain way that allows you to use your intellect to confuse them and stuff like that. Right? So if they don't even respect you from the pocket, first thing the defense is going to do is they're just going to blitz you. They're going to send safeties at you. They're going to send linebackers. They're going to send extras, all kinds of stuff, right? Because they just don't respect that. So Carson is a guy that he believes he's one of those dudes who could just run around, make them crazy plays and all of that the elite do and everything like that. However, he doesn't realize his limitations, that he is not great from the pocket. Though he might realize that, but the point is this, right? When you look at that, back at that game, that first interception that Carson Wentz threw, this definitely came as a result of him thinking he's just one of them bulls that can just extend a play and all of that, right? But he doesn't realize that nobody's that ball that can do what you tried to do on that play. Right? Patrick Mahomes would have been got rid of that ball. Aaron Rodgers would have been got rid of that ball. Okay? So he doesn't realize he's not Aaron Rodgers and not Pat Mahomes, or he's not understanding what they actually do when they play. You would never see one of them hold the ball like that, looking downfield but not paying attention to the linebacker that's on your ass. Then he gets hit. That joint, it was almost hilarious to watch again when I looked at it again. I don't know what he was doing on that. That was just him not realizing his own limitations. Dude, nobody's that good to make that play. So that's the first thing we need the coaches to make sure he understands. All right, that first fumble. Now let's go to, I believe it was the first interception, right? This is where Carson didn't play quite as bad as you might think on that first interception. The pass to Hightower. When I watched it again, I don't blame Carson Wentz for this interception. I blame Doug mostly, and I also blame Hightower. But I blame Doug mostly for this one. Why? Because Hightower is not great at tracking balls. He's not great at tracking balls. He has good speed. He has his hands. I saw him drop one, and I saw him catch some. So his hands, it's still a question mark. It's up for debate what his hands are. But he has good speed. But had he been great at tracking the ball, there's no way Diggs could have got that interception. Ain't no way in the world Diggs could have got that interception had he been a better tracker of the ball. Now, where I blame Doug is Doug should have had Jalen Reagor in there run that play instead of Hightower. So one of my criticisms of Doug, which I haven't done a criticism of Doug, I focus mostly on Carson, but my criticism of Doug is I don't like the way he is using his packages. I don't like it. It does not allow a quarterback to gain any chemistry with a particular player. It just doesn't. Right? I don't have a problem going 4 deep with wide receivers. That's okay. What I think is being missed, though, is the understanding of chemistry, what chemistry is with a player. Carson Wentz oftentimes has to do with different receivers coming in and coming out. 1 minute is Reagor, next minute is that. So in the beginning of the game, he had that little chemistry with Reagor. Reagor got that first touchdown. Because of that, I believe he should have just kept Reagor in the game. Right? Because they probably would have connected better. And also, too, I can tell Reagor is a better tracker of the ball than Hightower. I saw Reagor catch that first bomb. in week 1. And then I also saw Jalen Reagor at the end of that game when Carson threw that perfect pass to Reagor. That last pass Carson did was a beauty to Reagor. And Reagor perfectly tracked it to where Diggs couldn't get to the ball. He knew exactly what to do. Jalen Reagor is a much better wide receiver than John Hightower. Doug has to understand that, and he needs to be putting Reagor in there. Like, just switching them in and out is a problem. And that's one of those instances where Doug isn't helping Carson look good. All right? But that interception was on Hightower. Trust me. Just watch it again. That interception was on Hightower, not Carson Wentz. And that's what Carson meant, I guess, when he was in that interview, and he said some of the interceptions are just chemistry him and the receivers. Right? This is one of those instances where the receiver who was in there made him look bad. It wasn't really on him. But those who don't watch film won't be able to distinguish those types of things from, the other stuff. All right. That second interception, that was definitely Carson. That was just him thinking he's one of them balls, him doing that dumb shit, similar to what he did earlier in the game where he had the first fumble. That second interception that Diggs picked off, I think he was going to Reagor there. He should never even threw that damn ball. That was retarded. He's double covered. You're running, and you just threw the ball. Was that an instance where Reagor could have kept running? You know what? I'm going to look again for that. I don't think so, though. I think it was just something that should have never been thrown. But Carson might believe that Reagor should have just kept running and would have got it. Or maybe he didn't track it right. Carson might believe that. You see what I'm saying? So that's why, like, a lot of times when them guys get up there and they give these interviews, they're looking at stuff from their perspective, right? So it might sound like Carson just saying, I'm not going to change who I am, this and that, and the third. Why? Because he think those interceptions wasn't on him. Because from his perspective, he like, Reagor, you supposed to keep running. You know what I mean? So it's like it's different perspective from athletes, like the way they're looking at it and the way we are watching as spectators. Last night, I wasn't even thinking about looking at it from his perspective. I was just looking at it like as a spectator, right? So that's why you go back and you just rewatch the games, rewatch the highlights, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm saying this. It was a bad performance, but it was really because of the whole total group, coupled with Carson doing some dumb stuff where he think he's that bull. Somebody definitely need to sit his ass down and talk to him. Like, listen, we don't need you to do those types of plays, right? You're going to have Miles Sanders. You're going to have Goddard. You got 2 nice young receivers. Just get them the ball. Just distribute the ball. Actually, your career will last longer if you're doing that, okay? And then I'll just, like my man Ike Reese said, right? During practice, just send Carson little signs like, have Jalen Hurts in there, just doing some reps with the ones in practice. You know what I mean? Just have him thinking about what he's doing, thinking about his life. I do a little bit of that. Anyway, I don't like putting out those videos as longer than 15 minutes, so I won't. But this is like kind of more of my second recap with a focus on Carson Wentz's actual performance. And like I said, the conclusion I come to is the problem with Carson Wentz is he believes he has not come to the realization of his own limits at this point. That's his problem, and that's something that you can coach him to it. You can coach him into it, but he also has to realize it on his own himself too. Like, certain plays just ain't possible. Certain things you just can't do. You're not that ball. Maybe Mahomes could do it. Don't worry about Mahomes. Just be the best Carson Wentz you could be. Don't try to be the best Aaron Rodgers or Mahomes. Right? You're not one of those guys. Right? Just focus on keeping drives going. Sometimes you got to take them check downs, all that kind of stuff. Because the check down is what's going to give you consistency. The check down is what's going to give you a high completion percentage. That's why those guys are 70%, 80%, because they take check downs and stuff like that. Carson has to realize that. Doug has to do a better job of putting in the right personnel. Stop putting in guys, man, that aren't great trackers of the ball, just sending them on routes where they got to track the ball. Like, come on, dog. Like, what are you doing? Put those who are good at what they do in the place they need to be in to be good. You know what I mean? Basically. So that's on Doug. And Carson is somewhat limited by his receivers because, guys like Hightower and even Rager, them guys are young. He does have young receivers, and that is part of what's going on, who haven't developed. So that's why maybe he needs to go to Ward, because or in Fogum. Fogum is awesome. Go to Fogum. That was the most beautiful pass Carson did. I had to mention that pass to Fogum, that first touchdown. That thing was a beauty, for real. Both passes to Fogum were great. You know what I mean? So you probably need Fogum in those situations, honestly. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got on that. I wanted to say, like, Carson, I think he worked it out. He'd be all right. This was just a bad game. You know what I mean? But I think Dallas also had some things, man, that the Eagles' offense didn't expect. Like, they played a little better defense, which in my pre-game, that's what I was saying. Dallas is going to play a little bit better defense than they did in previous weeks because it's us. You know what I mean? I think they took away a lot of good from that game, actually. You know what I mean? Dallas lost, but they probably took a lot of good from it. You know what I mean? And let them think Carson is trash. That's cool. It don't really matter. But, yeah, that's all I got, man. The next time, I'm out.